Hey guys, it's time for chapter 2 of Lola Levine, Drama Queen. If you missed chapter 1, make sure you go back and watch it. I think we're off to a great start, and here we go. Chapter 2, Wave Like Wheat. Before I go to lunch, I leave a note on Mrs. Garcia's chair. Dear Mrs. Garcia, are we going to find out about the surprise today? I'm so tired of waiting. You told me not to ask again in class. But I'm not in class right now. I'm outside playing soccer. I hope. I don't actually know because I'm not actually outside yet. And I think you're eating lunch at your desk reading my note. Unless you have yard duty. If you do, please close this note right now because I might be in class when you find this note. And you might be exasperated. Shalom, Lola Levine. When I come back from lunch, Mrs. Garcia is smiling and I don't see my note. So I guess she isn't exasperated with me. Mrs. Garcia is the best. Are you ready for the surprise? Mrs. Garcia asked. Yes, we finally say. I couldn't even concentrate during the soccer game over lunch. Alyssa scored on me, which I disliked very much. For the next 8 weeks, we are going to have a special drama class with a special drama teacher who will come twice a week, Mrs. Garcia says. At the end of class, we will have a class play. A new teacher. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Mrs. Garcia is my favorite teacher ever. And I'm not sure what a drama class involves. I have heard Mom use the word dramatic. Last time my grandma Levine visited, for example, I heard Mom ask Dad, why is your mom so dramatic? I didn't know what she meant, so I borrowed Mom's dictionary. There were a lot of different definitions for dramatic, but I picked the one that said, 1. Extreme and sudden. 2. Attracting attention, causing people to look and listen. Mom must have been talking about the way Bubba hugs extremely tight. And now that I think about it, Bubby does get a lot of attention, mostly because of how she dresses. She looks like a rainbow and always wears colorful shawls and scarves. I think she's why my dad became an artist. And it is easy to listen carefully when Bubby talks because she talks really, really loud. I talk loud too, especially on the soccer field and sometimes in class. Last year, when I was in first grade, I used to get in trouble a lot for being loud. My teacher would say, Lola Levine, use your inside voice. This is my inside voice, I always answered. For some reason, my teacher didn't like that answer very much, but it seemed like when she talked to me, she always used a voice you could hear all the way outside. It was very confusing. Mrs. Garcia lines us up, and we get ready to go to gym. Psst, Josh, I say, do you think I'm dramatic? Definitely, Josh whispers back, smiling. We get to the gym where our new teacher is waiting. Students, Mrs. Garcia says, give a warm Northland Elementary welcome to Mrs. Tinkle. When I see Mrs. Tinkle, I'm not sure where to look. I've never seen someone with so many sparkles. She has on big, shiny butterfly earrings and about 100 bracelets, which click and clank together when she moves her arms. And guess what? Mrs. Tinkle moves her arms a lot. Good afternoon, students, she says with a wave of her arms. She sort of reminds me of a butterfly, actually, because she's wearing a big orange shirt and green pants. Nice, Miss Tinkle. I see that she's wearing sandals too, with purple glittered toenail polish. She even has rings on her toes. Wait until I tell Mom. Good afternoon, Mrs. Tinkle, we all say. I think I say it a little louder than everyone else because she looks straight at me. Welcome to drama class, everyone. We'll be working together this spring. The word drama comes from the Greek word for action, and here you will learn to act and tell a story on stage. It's hard to pay attention because I'm thinking about Mrs. Tinkle. About her name, actually. Tinkle. It reminds me of something, but I'm not sure what. Then I remember a silly rhyme my mom made up and used to sing to me. My little Lola with her smiling dimples. Tell Mommy when it's time to tinkle. My little Lola bumblebee. Tell Mommy when it's time to wee. All of a sudden, I really, really have to go to the bathroom. Mrs. Tinkle, I raise my hand. May I be excused? I have to tinkle. I mean, pee. Did I just say tinkle? Cowbarn. Darn, I think I should have said use the bathroom. Michaela Miller laughs and whispers to Alyssa. When they whisper, it's usually about me, and I dislike that very much. I see other kids giggling too, and even Josh thinks it's funny. Mrs. Tinkle does not look too happy. Fine, she says. You may use the restroom. Then Juan Gomez raises his hand and says, Mrs. Tinkle, I need a tinkle too. May I be excused? Now everyone is laughing. Silence, Mrs. Tinkle says. I'll have you know that the word tinkle is a sound, not an action. To prove her point, she waves her arms and the little bells on one of her bracelets make a tinkling sound. When Juan and I get back from the bathroom, the class is in a big circle, and Mrs. Tinkle's cheeks are red. I feel bad because I think I'm the reason everyone laughed at her name, and I sure know how that feels. Not very good. Okay, class, let's warm up, says Mrs. Tinkle. I can lead warm-ups, I say. I'm the captain of my soccer team, the Orange Smoothies, and I lead warm-ups all the time. No one cares, Lola, says Alyssa. I try to follow Dad's advice to ignore people when they're being mean. We are going to warm up with improv games today, class, Mrs. Tinkle says. Why do we have to warm up for drama? Juan asks. Well, Mrs. Tinkle says, we need to warm up our acting muscles. I don't understand. I don't know what improv means, and I have no clue which of my muscles is my acting one. I'm not talking about the muscles in your body. I'm talking about warming up your mind and letting your imagination run free. Mrs. Tinkle explains. Improvisation teaches you how to create without any preparation. You have to think on your feet. Now raise your hands in the air. Wave like wheat. Wave like wheat, I whisper to Josh. How does wheat wave? Like this, he says, and waves his hands and bops me on the head. Now buzz like bees, Mrs. Tinkle says. And the whole class buzzes, which is fun until people start poking one another and yelling, You've been stung! Alyssa doesn't like that game, I guess, because she yells, Lola just poked me in the eye and my mom isn't going to like this. I actually poked Alyssa's cheek, which is very different in my opinion. Mrs. Tinkle quickly tells us to pretend we are frogs, ribbiting and hopping around. But things get a little crazy when Juan tries to leap over Josh and ends up knocking over a trash can. A full trash can, which means the grape juice someone didn't finish at lunch and a smelly tuna sandwich. Mrs. Tinkle, who is looking a little less twinkly, says, Statues! Stand perfectly still and silent like statues. Then, with a tinkle and a clink and a clang of her bracelet, she walks towards the door of the gym where Mrs. Garcia is waiting. I think we've had enough drama. Learned enough about drama today, said Mrs. Tinkle. Class dismissed. There's the last picture. Alrighty, guys, that's the end of chapter 2. Come back tomorrow for chapter 3. Have a great night. Bye.